What is going on, guys? It's Reflex here, and the Warriors made it out alive in Game 7 against the Rockets. And yes, I agree with you Rockets fans. Chris Paul would have made a big difference in Game 7, and honestly, if he would have played, there's a great chance you guys would have won too, at least a 70% chance, and that's coming from a Warriors fan. So I do feel bad, but I mean, just these type of things happen. And it just goes along with the Chris Paul curse because, I mean, he got a little bit further, made it to the Western Conference Finals, but I just don't think he'll ever win a ring just because his luck precedes him. But yeah, sadly, Chris Paul couldn't play. But in my opinion, I think he should have just put his foot down to the trainers and everyone. Mike D'Antoni just been like, yes, I am playing. Because as a player, one game from the finals, you have to think you can rest in July. But right now, you got to put it all out there. But sadly, the narrative is now going to be Warriors got bailed out and the game was rigged. And I'll have to deal with that for a year. And I already seen a few people actually say that we injured Chris Paul, which is not true at all. And I mean, I just got over the fact that Warriors, the comments Warriors would have got beaten by the Spurs if Kawhi wouldn't have got injured by Zaza, which we would have got beaten game 1, but I don't think we would have lost the series. But the moral of the story is Warriors and the Cavs made it out alive in their game 7s. And now it's time for round 4 of the Warriors versus Cavs in the finals. And as much as people are saying it's going to be boring to watch the same two teams the past 4 years, you guys are still going to watch. And all I can say, though, if you want to look at it in a good way, things will be different next year. Because if LeBron loses, then he is going to leave Cleveland, in my opinion. And the question is, where? And that I do not know. But also, we got to think that next year, Kyrie and Gordon Hayward for the Celtics will be back. And how the Celtics played in the playoffs, and people were writing them off, including me from the beginning of the playoffs, just means that team is going to be something fierce next year. Plus, if Chris Paul stays, then the Rockets can have another crack at knocking off the Warriors in the playoffs, which they are the only team, in my opinion, as of right now to do it. And to give Houston Rockets another reason to kind of be happy that they lost, you guys now have a better chance at landing LeBron in the offseason for the reason, if Houston would have made it to the finals, there's no way on earth LeBron would have joined Houston Rockets, because then he would have had the same narrative as KD by people saying that he got beat by the Rockets, now he's going to join them. So in reality, it's a good thing that the Rockets lost, because if they get LeBron to go to Houston and they keep Chris Paul and Eric Gordon and all them, they can get rid of Trevor Ariza and Gerald Green and all that just to sign LeBron. It will be probably the biggest. It will make NBA probably less fun to watch, because I mean, those two teams are going to be like the only ones that will be contending, obviously. But I think that Houston team will be able to beat the Warriors, because that's just, you got a Hall of Fame point guard, you got a future Hall of Fame shooting guard, and then the GOAT, the greatest of all time player, going up against the 4 All-Stars, the Big 4, the villainous team, whatever you want to call it. But that would be crazy and amazing, and it just could happen now that the Houston Rockets got put out. But then the unknown destination of Paul George, I mean, next year, pretty much the offseason is just going to be probably the most interesting offseason probably ever. But let's not dwell on the future. Let's talk about now. And I'm not going to give a prediction on who will win, just because when it comes to LeBron, he does things that no other player can do, and the team he does it with is just insane. Because if he can beat the Warriors with his team right now, then no one can deny that he is indeed the greatest of all time. And I just want to say, if he gets beat, don't go and slander him, because it's 4 All-Stars versus 1. It's not fair. And I'm a Warriors fan, and I'm admitting that, because I agree with most people that the NBA would be a lot better to watch if KD was not on the Warriors. And I've been preaching this all season, even the season before, that the Warriors were better before they got KD. Offense ran more smoothly, and I just felt like the Warriors just played better basketball. Now, I do appreciate the chip that KD brought to Golden State, because obviously any good coming to my favorite team is awesome, and believe me, it's been a while since the Warriors had much good to talk about, and I'm talking about before 2015, because I mean, just being a fan of Golden State for a while, I know what it was like to lose, not making the playoffs, blowing a 3-1 lead, losing to LeBron. I know how all that feels. So just like, if you're gonna say like, oh, you were a bandwagon fan, no, I'm not. I've been a fan of LeBron, being an Ohio kid, from around, I would say, 2004, when I bought a 2K game, up until I'd say 2007. I think, no, like 2006. I stopped watching the NBA for a good solid year or two. I came back, and then I was watching the Warriors. I just thought it was cool. They were a cool team. They weren't destined to go anywhere, but it was the year of the We Believe Warriors with Baron Davis, Matt Barnes, and all of them. And I was watching them, and I was like, you know what? This team that everyone just wrote off, and they actually managed to get past the first round where they were supposed to lose, I mean, I just was like, I like heart. I like that. So, I'm going to stick with this team. And next thing I know, it just wasn't great the years after. And then we drafted Curry, and he had ankle issues in the beginning. So people were like, I don't know. And I just stuck with him because I just know how it felt to have a bad team because I was a fan of the Cavs. LeBron was amazing, but being an Ohio kid and stopping, stop watching basketball and coming back, I was like, I don't want to be a fan of LeBron because I just was like, I feel like I'm a bandwagon fan now. I decided to leave a team and then come back to it. I was like, I don't want to do that. So instead, I went to the Warriors and nothing was happening with them. We drafted Curry, Clay, Dre, and all of them. And I'm just like, all right. Things are starting to fall together. This is weird. Did not expect to win the chip. And yes, Kevin Love and Kyrie was out. I understand that. And to be honest, let's look at it this way. Cavs lost the finals they should have won, and the Warriors lost the finals they should have won in 2016. So it's just a flip-flop. Payback's a bitch, I guess you could say. But when people say, oh, you're a bandwagon fan or something, it's just hard to be a Warriors fan when it's in the villainous era of the Golden State Warriors right now. So, I mean, I can't fight it because I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, I hate Golden State, but I admit that KD comes to the Warriors was just a bad idea. So I agree. I disagree with everyone about the KD situation, but I'm going to like my team because I like my team regardless. When they start losing, because they will lose, dynasties will fall. That's just how it goes. So when they lose, I'm going to stick by them. But I'm looking forward to this finals even though I'm biased. But regardless, whoever wins, a legacy will be strengthened because if the Warriors win, then there will be, the team will be considered a dynasty. And if LeBron wins, then he will finally be known as the GOAT regardless of finals record. But I'm just happy with more basketball to be watched, as well as Mike Breen being a commentator in the finals that he normally is in the finals. I'm happy. There's a lot to be happy about and a lot on the line here because obviously if Golden State loses, then it'll be they got beat by one person. And hey, if that happens, I'm just going to have to deal with that a whole year, just like the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. I mean, that's the stuff I had to deal with. But hey, regardless what happens, I'm looking forward to good basketball. But hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. And don't worry, the basketball videos are almost coming to an end because the playoffs are almost over. But the game 1 starts June 1st, so ooh boy, I am ready. But hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and you guys know the drill. I will see you guys later.
Finds Durant. Durant for 3. Bang!